Today, we're diving into one of those images that you've probably seen pop up all over your social media feeds. This one makes a massive claim that there's a single nerve in your body that actually decides how long you're going to live. So let's break down exactly what this image is saying and, maybe more importantly, how it's saying it. And here it is. Yeah, if you spend any time online, this probably looks familiar. It's totally designed to stop you in your tracks while you're scrolling, right? It's got a problem, a cause, and a pretty scary consequence all wrapped up in one neat package. Now, our goal here isn't to prove it right or wrong, but to just deconstruct the argument it's making, piece by piece. So where do we start? What's the story this image is trying to tell us about our own bodies? Let's follow its logic, starting with its biggest, most dramatic claim. Okay, first section, a nerve that decides. You'll see this image does not waste any time. It hits you with its most attention-grabbing claim right at the very top. And there you have it, in all caps so you can't miss it. Your vagus nerve decides how long you live. Just think about that wording for a second. It's not influences, it's not contributes to, it says it decides. That's an incredibly powerful absolute statement that's really designed to make you stop and go, wait, what? Okay, so after grabbing your attention with this life or death statement, the image immediately pivots to telling you just how common this problem supposedly is. Next, it throws out a very stark statistic to make the problem feel incredibly personal. 1 in 3. 1 in 3? What? Well, according to the image, it means 1 out of every 3 adults has and this is a direct quote, weak vagus nerve. This immediately frames the whole thing not as some rare fringe condition, but as a massive problem that could easily be affecting you or me or someone we know. So let's recap. We've got a nerve that decides our lifespan, and a third of us are walking around with a weak one. The next logical step in this argument is to explain the consequences. Like, what does this weakness actually do to us? The image argues that this isn't just a passive thing. Nope. It claims this weakness actively kicks off a vicious cycle of negative health effects, and it boils them down to 3 key things. And here are the big 3. All very relatable problems, right? Nonstop stress, poor sleep, and chronically elevated inflammation. Now, watch closely how the visuals are used to hammer each one of these points home. For nonstop stress, we get this glowing image of a brain in complete overdrive. It's meant to make that feeling of distress seem immediate and almost, electric. Then, for poor sleep, it's about as literal as you can get. A simple, easy-to-understand picture of someone sleeping. It creates a very direct link in your mind. And for inflammation, you get this sciencey-looking illustration of glowing lungs. Each visual is picked very deliberately to make the claim feel more concrete, more real, and maybe a little scarier. So we've looked at the individual claims and all the visuals. Now let's just take a step back and put this whole argument together, exactly how the image presents it. And here's how it all flows. It's a really clear 4-step process. Step 1, the premise. A third of adults have this problem. Step 2, the mechanism. This weakness causes a bad cycle. Step 3, the effects. That cycle shows up as stress, bad sleep, and inflammation. And all of that builds to the big conclusion in step 4. This is what decides how long you live. It's a perfectly straight line of reasoning that's designed to be super persuasive. But here's the twist. After laying out this entire doom and gloom scenario, the problem, how big it is, and the fatal consequences, the image doesn't end with a solution. It ends with an instruction. Right there at the bottom, in smaller text, are 2 simple words: read caption. The entire image is basically a giant advertisement for the text that you can't even see in the image itself. And that is the whole point. The image's job is to present a scary, relatable problem, and then guide your attention to where the solution is supposed to be, outside the image, down in the caption. It creates this sense of urgency, a knowledge gap that you suddenly feel compelled to fill. And so, the entire argument funnels you towards this one final thought. After showing you the problem, how common it is, and the dire consequences, the image is perfectly designed to make you ask, if a weak nerve is the problem, what makes it stronger? It leaves you with this really urgent question, implying the solution is just 1 click away.